Jets 32, Giants 24. Welcome to Talking Giants, presented by SeatGeek. I'm your host, Bobby Skinner, here with my co-host, Justin Pennick. And the Giants have not won the MetLife Bowl since 2019. Their third loss in a row in the MetLife Bowl. Justin, how were you? You were in the bowl of MetLife.
I was in the bowl of MetLife. There was a ton of people at this game. I kind of got there a little later than I wanted to, and I got there even later because of how much traffic there was heading into the stadium. And usually in the second half, I usually move down towards the 100 section. And still, even in the second half, in what was kind of a very boring second half, I thought the first half was pretty entertaining. A lot of seats filled. So shout out to Giants and Jets fans. There wasn't as many Jets fans as I thought that there would be. So shout out to Giants fans that showed up for their team. Man, I'm ready for Dallas. There was a point in this game that I did think we were going to win. It was 14-13 at halftime. We had 13 unanswered points. Offense started to find itself. Defense even did a little bit of a bend, don't break effort to start the second half. Ton of injuries to the back end of the roster guys tonight, which, hey, that's why the coaches are here. That's why the coaches are coaching, and I'm here because I selfishly wanted to play some of these starters. I wanted to win pretty bad because this is going to be the last thing that I'm going to feel for 2 weeks until we play Dallas. So I'm ready for Dallas, though. How are you, Bobby?
Good. But I am excited, talk about Jalen Hyatt and Isaiah Simmons even went out there and got reps, even though I don't think anyone thought that would happen. We'll talk Devito, David Sills, all that stuff. First, Justin, this episode was brought to you by some special people. Andy Bryant, he's Kobe Bryant's brother. Mason Harper, remember Marjay Harper, all those penalties he got, and he called me a liar, but he actually did get all those penalties.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother. OG Mudbone, he's the original gangster of Mudbones. Don Decker, part of the Decker family.
Wow.
Lucas, that's my brother's middle name. James Carruthers, Kate, James R. Speaking of a couple of Jameses. Timothy Johnson, not Tim from Florida, just regular Pete, not NYG Pete. And then Larry Fishgold, which now that I'm looking at that, that's definitely not a real name, Fishgold.
Really?
Justin, who are these people?
These wonderful people went to patreon.com/TalkingGiants. And for $2 a month plus some other tiers, you get to hang out with us live while we record the shows. Like we have a bunch of people doing right now. They're here with us right now. I can't talk. It's 11:30 at night on a Saturday night. I have to wake up at 4 a.m. for a fishing trip. Patreon.com/TalkingGiants. Thanks to our patrons. We love you.
All right, so the Giants starters didn't play in this game, but they're important backups did, right? So it wasn't like a solely any guy who's getting playing time didn't play. So we got to see Jalen Hyatt out there, Justin, and see Sterling Sheppard out there. And if that was the biggest, and the Giants interior, actually their interior offensive line starters did play, which we'll talk about. But if there's one takeaway from the starters or good backups, is Jalen Hyatt, Justin. He beat Sauce twice. And the first time was totally cooked him. Did a little stop and go, totally got Sauce to bite on it, accelerates out of it, was wide ass open. Tyrod Taylor throws the ball out of bounds, and also they had the safety over the top. And then the second drive of the game, they do the same exact thing. He didn't beat him as bad, but he did beat him. Sauce got a little handsy, and again, the safety over the top weren't able to complete it. To where you saw the play last week against the Panthers starting safety. We've seen it all in camp. This dude is just so fast, and he's able to do stuff getting to those vertical routes. Again, he's not a great route runner right now, but he does know how to route run to get open deep. It's not simply just running straight. Struggles with the release if he's getting pressed up. He's not simply just running straight. He knows how to work leverage. He knows how to get a guy to bite on something, and it's to a point where it's this guy's going to get 20 deep targets this year. If he's healthy, Justin, because I think he's going to average over one per game. Because he just, why wouldn't you do that with the way he's able to get open like that?
I almost think it took Sauce Gardner back. We're doing this first play of the game. You're gonna test me like this, and you're gonna run like this, because usually now I know the Giants aren't game planning for the Jets and Sauce Gardner, but we're gonna run this the first play of the game, and Sauce Gardner was taking it back, and Jalen Hyatt was open on the sideline, and Tyrod Taylor had to force it towards the sideline because he had that safety over the top. But that was really fun. I didn't see I wasn't watching Jalen Hyatt versus Sauce Gardner that first play because I was kind of just watching the ball the first play. But, man, I saw that ball in the air. I saw Sauce Gardner at least 5 yards behind Jalen Hyatt, and I immediately get up And then I'm like, I need to see a replay of this route. And I don't even think the Giants broadcast even showed like the release and everything. You only saw the double move at the top on the actual broadcast. So that was super fun, super exciting. I think Jalen Hyatt's stat line is going to look pretty funky this year, where his average depth of target is going to be like, maybe it's going to be like what it was at Tennessee for his rookie year, which is a crazy concept to think about.
Dude's going to average like 19 yards per catch or something crazy.
It's
this
crazy.
Year. He's going to have like 25 catches, but he's it's going to be for like 600 yards or something like that. It's crazy. Like, it's just like this dude just like consistently gets open deep, and it's in different types of ways. And he's good at that route running stuff on the sidelines. Got to work on some of the other stuff, but he's a big part of the game plan week 1 versus Dallas.
And like, even if the ball's not thrown
I think the
to
first play of the game might go to him in Dallas. Like that's maybe, how open this guy gets.
And even if the ball isn't thrown to him, Bobby, that's a threat of speed, and it's a big play potential that we just haven't had in years. And the fact that Jalen Hyatt isn't the only source of those big plays, that will open up stuff for guys that are underneath. And the guys that are underneath Jalen Hyatt in terms of a play, they're no schmucks themselves. And that's what really makes me excited about this offense. Like, this isn't just Darius Slayton 2019, and he's the only source of big plays that we can target down the field consistently. It's Jalen Hyatt plus Darius Slayton, plus a Darren Waller, plus a Paris Campbell, plus some other guys. So I'm really excited to see Hyatt in this offense with everybody else.
I'm going to make a guarantee. The first passing play of the season will be over 15 yards, and it will be play action.
A completion. Like, we're going to complete the first play.
The first passing attempt of the game will be a 15-yard or more completion off play action.
That's how you set the tone.
Evan
Neal holding up versus Lawrence or Parsons, Andrew Thomas doing his job.
They're going to give him some help.
The interior doing they're doing their jobs.
So I'm just guaranteeing that at this point. Also, the Giants' interior offensive line, Bredesen got snaps at center for the first time since the second week of camp, essentially. Glowinski was at right guard. Josh Azudu was at left guard. None of them. So Azudu had this. So they did this thing where they put Matt Parrott over on the right side, and so it was Azudu lined up next to Chris Myrick, and they were running to the right. An unbalanced line, and Azudu tried to do like this type of slingshot block, and just totally like basically turned that into a tackle. So just like, here you go, here's a tackle for a loss. So that type of stuff needs to be worked on. Overall, I actually think they did halfway decent pass protecting, except for Glowinski got beat on a stunt by Quinnen Williams. And in that first play of the game, Bredesen ended up getting shed by Quinnen Williams as well. But just the offensive, and I want to talk about Matt Parrott because he's their swing tackle, and he was awful this game. Awful from start to finish, essentially. At least in pass protection. This Giants offensive line, starters and backups, all preseason has really struggled with combo blocks in the run game. And this is one of the worst rushing preseason offenses I've ever seen.
I have numbers.
Give me numbers.
Week 1, 22 attempts. Now I'm counting QB runs in here too, which usually.
Really? Oh, okay. So that's even. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm counting QB runs. I didn't have time to take out running backs because it would be even worse. And I don't even think you want to hear if it were just Giants running backs. So here we go. 22 attempts for 81 yards, week 1, 3.7 yards per carry. 25 carries for 60 yards week 2, that's 2.4 yards per carry. 32 carries for 125 yards this week, 3.9 yards per carry. And if you take out the James Robinson big run, which you can't, that James Robinson big run was legit, it's way less than 3.9. So in total, through this preseason, 79 carries, 266 yards, 3.36 yards per carry. Not what you want. Not good, not happy.
No, and there's been so many negative plays from bad combo blocks or just bad blocks in general. And again, the third string guys, like,
who cares?
Okay, they suck. I don't care. But it's been from the starters too, man. Like even JMS a little bit. Like this offensive line, and this is one of the reasons why I push back on the rotation thing so much, is like, these are the issues of doing the rotation. Like, you need these guys to gel. Combo blocks are you can be a thing of art, but they've been so bad, whether guys are coming off of them too early, not coming off of them at all, or just, not getting movement on them, not getting hip to hip the way you want. They just have not looked good at all. They have not looked good at all. And it's something that, like, if I'm getting ready for week 1 versus Dallas, and I do want Saquon Barkley to be a big part of this, like, we gotta get movement up front on these combo blocks, and we gotta get off at the right time, because they're gonna throw Dallas is gonna throw a lot of different run fits at you to try and stop Saquon Barkley from creating big plays, and it's gonna lead to tackles for a loss if you're not able to pick this type of stuff up.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to say yet, because I don't disagree with you, but we haven't seen the 5 really out there all that much. And really, even when we were watching camp, Bobby, they're not running the ball a lot, but even when we're watching camp in person, we didn't see a consistent 5. And this even included early in camp when they were rotating JMS in and out too. It's like everybody and their mother knew that JMS was going to be the starting center this year. Why, for the first 2 weeks of camp, was JMS not getting valuable reps with the first team? Because you wanted to cross-train Ben Bredesen when you probably knew that he can do that anyway, and he can take second team snaps. So I don't know, man. I agree with you. I do think I'm not a coach. Blah blah blah. I trust the coaches. I trust Brian Daboll. That all of this is the baseline of what I'm saying. But I still disagree with the inevitable rotation that we see at the interior for this exact reason, that they do need to gel together and they do need reps together.
Okay, here's what my challenge to everyone, because it's trust the coaching staff.
You guys are smarter than them? No. When have we have never claimed to say that.
Tell me the benefit of it.
And it's not like, we're hiding stuff from our opponents or stuff like that.
Yeah, no conspiracy theories. Tell me the benefit that you've seen of rotating offensive linemen.
Yeah, and tell me how
I'm
many
not talking about the first couple weeks in camp and stuff like that, but I'm talking about in games, which they did in the playoffs.
And tell me how many other NFL teams do it, right?
It's unless you're Bill Belichick in 2016 or Joe Judge or Brian Daboll, it just doesn't happen. And every offensive line coach says that, and Mike Kafka said himself, it's like, you want to get your five, you get your five. So how much evaluation do you need to figure out the 5?
Yeah.
Like, if it's about evaluation and you can't figure it out through all this time, then I don't know what you're doing.
Then what are we doing? And it's not like
I'm tired of all the conversations, because at the end, it's the answer has always been, the reason why they do it is because they put bigger investments into Glowinski and Azudu than they did Bredesen.
Right, and Bredesen's the best one. And
they also didn't get a backup center.
Right.
Which anyways, Matt Peart was awful. Yeah. And swing tackle is an issue again. Like, now Matt Peart at right tackle is better than left tackle Matt Peart, but it's not because he's better there. It's just he will have solid reps, and then he just gets beat. Like, it's like every 6 plays he gets beat really badly and will end drives. So it's like, once again, and Tyree Phillips, we haven't seen him. We didn't play a single preseason game, Justin. And he wasn't having a good camp. He came back to practice this week, but he wasn't having a good camp. Like, Tyree Phillips, where is he? Is he going to be the swing tackle again? That's a huge question mark for this Giants offense.
Yeah, Tyree Phillips, where are you? Is big. Do you think there's a post cut down day move that's made?
Maybe.
But odds are a good swing tackle is not going to be cut from a team.
I mean, maybe the best swing tackle cut last year was Tyree Phillips.
And the Giants got him, and they were what were they, 4th on the waiver claim list?
Yeah. Or 5th. I want to talk about Isaiah Simmons, though, because I say Simmons played, but first I want to talk to you about DraftKings. You've waited all year, and the time has finally arrived. College football is back. Why was Notre Dame just beating the crap out of Navy in Ireland?
Why is Notre Dame ranked 13th in the country? Didn't they get beat by Marshall last year?
So are the traditions, the tailgates, and the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can score. Sorry, that got me good. Right now, new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. I also went to go look for the Giants press conference today, and I saw Do a Barrel Roll was already uploading cuts. I'm like, nice, my guy. Kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code WORLD. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet $5 on any college football bet. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code WORLD. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charleston Races, all games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Blue Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible and gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. By the way, if we ever do put some focus in the JM football and have a guy, I feel like a Monday morning draft video recapping 4 or 5 prospects every week would be good.
Yeah.
But anyways, Isaiah Simmons was out there and he almost had a sack. Dude, it's like you see the athleticism and then you see the athleticism with a Giants jersey on, and it's like, oh my gosh, this guy legitimately does fly around. He also had another play where he created some pressure when they rolled out. And now the sack, I want to see him put a little more oomph into 5'8" Michael Carter, the running back, in there, and maybe run his ass over. But you see it, and then he had a couple good man coverage reps. And he only played one series, Justin, but it's like there's a plan for Wink Martindale's going to have for this guy. And they actually they talked about it on the broadcast where they said, Dable went to Simmons and said, what do you like to do? And he said, rush, which, again, I don't put too much into all that because Simmons also said he wanted to play safety for the Cardinals and not linebacker. But he is going to be a valuable rusher for the Giants.
Yes.
And I think he's going to be good in man coverage on tight ends and running backs too.
Yeah, I said it in our Isaiah Simmons PPP Welcome to the Giants episode. Almost 2,300 snaps that he's played in the NFL, and 239 of them have been as a pass rusher, which seems odd because that was a legit strength of his at Clemson. And, kind of whether you're going to put him at that edge spot, which, hey, he's a little light for that edge at 240, but put him wherever. There was a couple plays where he was lining up in the A-gap. During those first 5 plays in that first series. So I'm excited for Simmons, man. And I'm excited to see how he was utilized because I don't necessarily want to see him utilized as this every down linebacker. I know he's going to run into that every once in a while, but I want to see him utilized as a weapon and as an ace in the hole on the football field because that is what Isaiah Simmons, that's what he's best at. And I think that's exactly how the Giants plan to use him.
Yeah, they put him in man coverage on a play on a running back. He did really well, and it's just that speed, man. Wink Martindale's, Wink Martindale's gonna have a plan for him. Now, if the plan is to be a full-time linebacker, I think we're gonna have frustrations with Isaiah Simmons. But he is also working with the linebackers too, so that answers the question on what position that he's gonna play for the Giants.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. Shout out Creed. Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything. That's what Breck Jones had a good meme about that, talking about Isaiah Simmons. Sterling Sheppard returned a punt.
Yeah, and he forgot to call for a fair catch.
Yeah, they told him to fair catch, and he forgot the fair catch, and he got tackled and was like, what the hell? And he was like, oh, I forgot the fair catch. Why was Sterling Sheppard returning the punt? I don't get it.
Because if he's not going to start at wide receiver, the Giants...
But then why would they give him a fair catch rule?
Because they wanted him to just do it Dable. And Dable doesn't give legit answers in front of the media, but I actually do believe this to be a legit answer. He said after the game that he wanted to get him under the lights and get him out there and just catch a punt. And I honestly think that's the reason.
Yeah, I get that makes sense, but is Sterling Sheppard going to be a punt returner? And then Jamison Crowder did one, and then in the second half, Eric Gray got it. So it's a very weird situation. Now, if Colby's... So let's talk about roster construction. Cole Beasley's been injured for like over a week now. Didn't play tonight. If Beasley doesn't make the team because of this injury, or they hold off on bringing him in or whatever, like for a couple weeks, I think Crowder should make the team, and he could be your returner.
And we were planning on, there being an extra wide receiver anyway, and that Cole Beasley's a slot guy. Jamison Crowder would just slide in. But I do think Eric Gray is, I think Eric Gray is the team's punt returner.
Okay. Let's talk about Eric Gray. I thought he played well. He had 4 catches for 48 yards. He was making guys miss, like he ran through some ankle tackles around his leg. He had that one play where he had did you see the play where he just double cut? Like it was 2 guys and bam, bam.
Yeah,
just
on the sideline.
Double cut, made them guys miss. He had only 7 carries for 11 yards, but 2 of those runs were -7 yards combined when he was just straight up tackled in the backfield. So, and he was hitting holes. He had a nice 1 cut on those. Like he looked his best. He was used he had 1 like straight up block, and it wasn't good. It wasn't as bad as last week, but it wasn't good. But they were using him as chipper a lot. But like running, so I don't think he's ready to get a ton of reps yet. He still needs to work on that pass blocking a ton. But you kind of saw Oklahoma version of Eric Gray tonight.
Yeah, making guys miss, especially that play that he had on the sideline. I think it was on the Giants sideline. So it's always funny seeing some of these depth guys and some of these backup guys make plays. J.D. Mickens had a fun play where he made a couple guys miss that was right on the Giants sideline, and they all freaked out afterwards. So yeah, but Eric Gray, he showed that he can show the power this preseason on some runs. His touchdown run, he showed off some power, showed off a little bit of the Oklahoma stuff tonight. So I feel comfortable Eric Gray being RB3. I wanted to feel more comfortable with him as RB2 this camp and this summer. Not quite there yet, especially with his blocking issues. But yeah, excited for Eric Gray, whatever opportunity he's going to get. I do think he is the team's punt returner.
It was just nice. Yeah, I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to see him win off of the stuff he won off at Oklahoma, which is like just those one cut moves, just bam. Just put that foot in the ground, get vertical, and make guys miss. And he did that. He was running hard through stuff. Like I thought he looked really good. And that was nice to see, because after last week, it really soured you on it. And also, with that, you've seen like, hey, his athleticism is not great in the NFL, right? So it's like you have these questions in your head of like, well, can he be a good back with those athleticism issues? But it's like, okay, he can still do the things that he did well at Oklahoma.
Make guys miss.
Also, James Robinson just turned into like old James Robinson and was dragging like 5 guys on that one play.
Where were the linemen on that play? That could have been a bigger run if there were linemen that were pushing him. I think Jack Anderson was behind.
I think if they pushed him, he would have lost his balance. He was like drag like that. Offensive linemen just like to lay a hit and it'll like actually tackle the back. Maybe if you got him at the very end of it, but he got like an extra 6 yards by just dragging Jets players. Like if you were a Jets player in on that, you should be embarrassed. He also bounce a big run.
28
Still don't
yards.
think he's making the team, but it was fun to watch.
It was a James Robinson revenge game.
It was a James Robinson revenge. There's been a lot of revenge games this preseason. Let's talk about Tommy DeVito.
Let's talk about Tommy DeVito. Can I talk about something first, since I don't know how many topics we have left in this episode and we have 2 more ads?
You asking me makes me want to say no, but I'll let you.
Oh, please. Oh, and I have a guest. I have a special guest. He's right here. Mikey. How are you, Mikey? It's great to see you.
Want some
Mikey,
cigarettes, Mike?
Oh, not yet. That'll be towards the latter part of his life. Mikey, say nothing if the farmer's dog is the best form of dog food you have ever eaten in your entire life. Completely speechless. Because the results of switching my dog's food from kibble to fresh, it can seem like magic. But the farmer's dog doesn't use any sorcery or secret ingredients to make their fresh food, as Mikey heaves at the microphone, to make their fresh food, just science. The farmer's dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food. It's developed by vets, nutritionally balanced, and made from real, healthy ingredients to human food safety standards. It doesn't matter if your dog is young or old. My dog is getting old. He's 9 years old. It's always the right time to begin investing in their health, helping you live a more healthy, happy, and full years together. Isn't that right, Mikey? Get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/johnboy. Plus, you get free shipping. That's thefarmersdog.com/johnboy for 50% off. It's a shame you're a dog and you don't understand that getting 50% off and free shipping is an absolute steal. And you're currently looking away from me like you're so pissed at me. Bobby's going to be glad you did.
Because you're like talking about all this good food in front of him, and he's like, I want some right now.
It's true.
It's like when you're on a diet and someone's talking about all like this good food. It's like you're making me want to ruin my diet. I have an update.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Friday, my grandma's dog, dead.
Oh, no. Smoke
Gone.
cigarettes?
No, but it was a little bit of a boozer.
Oh, sure.
Liver cancer. Tommy DeVito. When 19 to 29, 210 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The 1 interception was really bad.
How many times have we talked about dead dogs on this podcast?
I don't know, dude. Stop bringing up dead dogs.
Too many times. Tommy DeVito, 19 for 29.
If you know what, we would do it less if my grandma got Farmer's Dog.
Healthy lifestyle.
There's a Farmer's Dog commercial on the game tonight.
Wow.
Tommy DeVito, I'll say it. Whenever you have a UDFA quarterback and you go in the preseason, there's more likely than not that he goes out there and he's a disaster, right? And it's like, all right, that's enough quarterback for you. The CFL or XFL is your calling card, even if you can even play on those teams. DeVito's done the opposite of that. Like, he's operated the offense. He's felt pressure well and escape when he needed to. He's kept you on a schedule. And what I was impressed with today, specifically with DeVito, third down, he was 6 of 9, 53 yards, and two of those 3 incompletions. One was the back shoulder to Sills that they overturned, which was a beautiful throw. And then the other was at the end of the half. Remember the throw that he dropped in the bucket to Sills and Sills just didn't bring it down?
Yeah.
Like, those were 2 of the 3 incompletions that Tommy DeVito had on third down.
That would have changed the game if Sills caught that.
Yeah. And then obviously delivering the touchdown to Sills at the end, which we'll talk about Sills. Like, QB3 is Tommy DeVito for, like, there's no doubt, right? Like, there's no, like, okay, we're getting rid of this guy and we're going to look to upgrade. So DeVito is here. We'll see him next August. Hopefully we do not see him this year, but I'm excited to see him next August. And he gets a year to learn behind Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor and be a scout team quarterback for the Giants starting defense and face all that blitzing and stuff in practice and get better and hopefully can develop into a backup quarterback.
Yeah, there was even a throw that he had to Lawrence Cager in the first quarter too, where it was on the right, it was towards the right sideline.
Yeah.
And it was over 2 defenders, and that was pretty impressive. You put enough touch on it to get it over those 2 Jets defenders, and Lawrence Cager stumbles near the sideline. So, yeah, they were talking about it on the Giants postgame today that, and I get it because they have to promote the Giants. They were like, oh, Tommy DeVito could get claimed by another team if cut. You got to be careful. I don't think so. But Tommy DeVito has been way more impressive than I thought he would be. But if you were to tell me when I started watching him in camp, I would be surprised. But if you were to tell me before I saw any of the camp practices that he would look like this based off of our UDFA review of him, I'd be like, yeah, this is exactly kind of what we thought Tommy DeVito would be. Maybe even a little bit better at manipulating the pocket, because that part he has looked really mature doing.
Yeah, which it was an issue at Syracuse, So, like, again, like he said, he's worked well within structure. He's kept the offense on schedule, and he's been overall accurate, and he's put good touch on, like, go watch the Tommy DeVito film review or the UDFA podcast if you haven't already, people. You'd be a lot more prepared for this episode if you did do those things. But yeah, he's looked good, and I'm very happy. Which, again, I was going into preseason game 1. I'm like, I was bracing for disaster with Tommy DeVito. It's like the NFL's just different for these guys, and he's looked good. The RPO pick 6 though was really bad. Now that we're done praising him, that was like stupid. Not just like a bad decision or a bad throw. It was just he pumped it. Like I don't know what he saw. I went back and watched it to see what he pumped it, and then threw it, and then like Sills doesn't know what the hell's going on. And I don't blame him. People were going at his effort. I disagree. Like Sills was waiting for the throw, and it gets pick 6. Like that was like, okay, you can't do that type of stuff. Like throw the damn ball in the RPO or dirt it, because that was a really stupid decision by Tommy DeVito.
Yeah. The only one that he's really made, though, and he's played like 11 quarters of ball, so cost us the game, kinda. Sorry, Tommy DeVito, to be tough, but yeah.
Damn you, Tommy DeVito. David Sills. He is now the Giants' preseason receiving leader in the post-COVID preseason era of only 3 preseason games. 6 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he could have had like 130 if he doesn't that back shoulder doesn't touch the ground and he catches that pass at the end of the half.
Idea. Can we create a log of preseason stats since like in the post-COVID 3 preseason game schedule era? Because if you look on Pro Football Reference, there's not
I'll Google Doc that.
Yeah, so let's actually start that, and let's keep track of that like every single year.
Okay. Yeah, I'll Google Doc that. I'm actually very excited to do that. So you gave me
David Sills is probably gonna I'm not sure there will ever be a run where a wide receiver is best friends with the quarterback. Now, I will say, David Sills.
At what point is David Sills just not on the Giants practice squad and 90-man roster?
But David Sills is like legit good in practice and preseason, so I can't even fault him for being on the team because he's Daniel Jones' best friend. Well, he's like legit good when he's out there when it doesn't count, but when it counts,
he's not going to be on
bad.
the 53. He's going to be on the practice squad.
Right. But I'm saying
like having him on the practice.
There's
squad.
not going to be. There's not. I don't know if there's ever going to be a run where there's going to be a guy that's going to be on. That's going to be playing significant snaps in the preseason, multiple quarters every single year. That's going to garner stats like this. And David Sills is probably going to do this for 2 or 3 more years.
That's the thing. He's 20. That's why I'm like he's 27 years old. So, and if you think about it, like he's one of the longest tenured Giants. If you don't include being cut and then being brought on the roster and practice squad. Like
he's not going anywhere.
It's Sterling Sheppard 2016, Saquon's the only from 2018, and then 2019 you had that draft class that's still there with DJ, Dex, Slayton, and O'Shane, and then Sills was claimed after that preseason. Like he's number 7 on the list, maybe 6 if we get rid of O'Shane Zimenez finally.
Yeah,
which leads me to my next topic.
There you go.
And it wasn't the next topic, but I'm putting it the next topic. O'Shane Zimenez played the majority of the game, had 0 tackles, jumped off sides. He doesn't do anything.
No.
He doesn't do anything well. Like outside linebacker, and Timon Fox didn't do much to put him clear cut, deserves to be on the roster. But now that we have Isaiah Simmons, who's going to do some of that stuff. One, I hope to God there's some type of talent out there we can get off of the waiver wire. Doesn't need to be a guy, just some type of talent. Some guy who brings at least one element to his game. But with that, I want to say this. Carter Coughlin's making this team off of his special teams prowess. He had 2 tackles for a loss today. One from the stack linebacker position and one from the edge, where he went and he levered up against Elijah Vera Tucker and had a tackle for a loss. Elijah Vera Tucker, is that guy pretty good? Carter Coughlin was a great pass rusher in college. He started out as an outside linebacker, and even though he's not a good run defender like O'Shane Zimenez or consistently a great pass, he at least has pass rush wins. Why not put Carter Coughlin just back at the edge? And because I'm telling you, he'd be a more productive NFL player than O'Shane Zimenez.
Carter Coughlin's a better preseason player than O'Shane Zimenez.
Better, but a better regular. Carter Coughlin's had better pass rush wins the last If you look at the Joe Judge era, Carter Coughlin had a much better pass rush prowess than O'Shane Zimenez does.
O'Shane Zimenez had a QB hit today, Bobby. Come on.
Did he?
Yeah, he did, according to the NFL game book.
Barely touched him. I actually remember that play.
Take that. Carter Coughlin looked like Perry Carson today.
Yeah, Carter Coughlin is a great preseason player, but seriously, but I'm not joking at all with that though. Like Carter Coughlin to me, unless we get somebody, he should be the fourth edge. Or the fifth edge after Timon Fox. But Oshane Ximines just does not do anything for you anymore. Or ever has. And this is coming from someone, like, by the way, like, I did a, hey, don't forget about Oshane yet segment after the 2021 draft. When they drafted Aziz and Ellerson Smith and had these guys. Where I said, don't, and had Lorenzo Carter, and I said, don't totally throw away Oshane Ximines. Give this guy a chance. And he had a good preseason. I was like, hey, this guy deserves to still be around. When everyone that was saying that would be their surprise cut in 2021.
I think I said that. Should have been.
So yeah, like it's just enough. Other things. Did you have anything else on offense besides the fact that Khalil Pimpleton has now had 3 reverses in the preseason, and one he just totally put his knee through David Sills' head?
I'm not sure if there was ever. We had the entire section laughing at that play. It was very funny. Here's something with offense. Something that's just curious. It's like an asterisk. Little asterisk I have from this game.
Asterisk.
Saw a lot of Sills. We saw Colin Johnson out there a little bit. They would put him out there, take him out, put him out there, take him out. This could be a little fan conspiracy, but I think they're kind of doing that intentionally because they want to keep him around, and they don't want to put good Colin Johnson plays out there. They could put good David Sills plays out there and be confident teams won't pick him up. But Colin Johnson was a guy that the Giants picked up from the Jaguars a couple years ago. Versus if you have good Colin Johnson's plays out there, I think that maybe a team would pick him up. And I know he's been hurt this summer, and he's had a complicated summer and maybe an underwhelming one because of the injuries. But it was just very curious to see a guy that I know that they like. He was out there, didn't really run routes, a lot of run plays, and then they would take him out. So I thought Colin Johnson's game was pretty curious.
I think that's a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
because
they want to stash him.
They don't like, and I don't want to lose Colin Johnson, but you can't really justify putting him on the roster right now.
Right. That's it. That's all I have for offense. I have one more defensive point.
I have some defensive points left. Only one positive. The rest are negative. Should I do the positive or the negative? Because even the positive's not that positive because of the way it ended.
Let's just do the negative. Rip off the Band-Aid.
Amani Oruwariye. He gave up a touchdown. But that last touchdown of the game, go back and watch it. The guy catches the ball, and Amani Oruwariye puts no effort in going to tackle him. He just jogs over, and they run, and they score a touchdown right in front of him. For a guy that struggled, has not been a good corner, and like if like a way to get on the roster would be like, hey, we need one outside corner, and this guy can give us like, dude, like. If I were the head coach and I would play that play, I would do that on the film review when they meet together tomorrow and they go through the film, and then he would be the first guy I cut. Seriously, like I would use that as a teaching lesson. Like I would cut him a day before the 53, because if they're unless they want to keep him on the roster, which I don't think they're going to do. He's playing in the last 2 minutes. He was playing the entire end of the preseason game.
Yeah, I was down with the whole notion of, he had a really bad camp and he's had a really bad summer. But look at the state of the Giants' outside corners right now. Adoree Jackson's in the slot. You have 2 rookies starting on the outside, which is one of my last defensive points. Cordell Flott has now joined the, being the outside corner depth. They moved him out of the slot because he just didn't work there. So Amani Oruwariye is kind of like what they have left, but this is not a great secondary depth-wise, and it really is making me nervous heading into the season.
Agreed. Jamon Green went from the UDFA, I might forget who he was in 5 years, to I'm always going to remember him for all of his missed tackles on third down.
I mean, he also got beat every single Sterling Sheppard had his longest catch of the summer over Jamon Green. David Sills had the majority of his good plays over Jamon Green. So, very slow corner.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is he's fundamentally sound when we did our breakdown of him, but it's just he just doesn't have NFL athleticism.
Yeah.
And he's physical too. Yeah, they would just juke the shit out of him. It'd be like 3rd and 15, they catch underneath, and he'd miss the tackle. Like, it was 3 times, and they also gave the touchdown to Garrett Wilson, which, hate him too much for that. But, yeah, I thought Jamon Green will always be remembered as the guy who couldn't tackle on 3rd down. Beavers looked bad in coverage a few times. He got sealed. So I was really keyed in on Isaiah Simmons on my rewatch. And I'm like, oh, shit. Did he get sealed and dominated on this run play? And then the guy turns. I'm like, oh, nope, that's Darrian Beavers. So, do you think he could be a surprise cut since he's looked so bad? But I also don't think he will because you don't have any other linebackers. And they clearly like him. And it's like he's coming off the injury. Like, I feel like there should be some patience there with Darrian Beavers.
Well, I mean, I think you can stash him and then you can sign him. You can stash him and then sign him if you need to and if it comes up. Because you do have Isaiah Simmons. Like, that is the thing. I know we've said that you don't want him playing every down linebacker, and he won't when you have Micah McFadden out there, and he can spell McFadden. And
you got to go get another linebacker then.
Yeah. Has Carter Coughlin shown you enough to be the number 4? Carter Coughlin has shown you enough to be the number 4 linebacker in a pinch and that's why I'm saying you can elevate Darrian, sign him to the 53 in the middle of the week.
I think he may. They like him, and I don't. Beavers is a guy who I think could possibly even get claimed because he has good college film.
Yeah,
and the Giants did like him, so I could see a team wanting to claim him and have some patience with him.
But it wouldn't surprise me if they do, with the purposes of we're going to keep you around and you're going to rehab, and if we need you, if two interior linebackers go down in a given game, Bobby, then you sign Darrian Beavers back, the next week, and then boom, he's here. So,
want to talk about the injuries? Javarius Owens was one of the guys that got injured. On the play he got injured, quarterback hit.
Of course.
This was the first preseason game where injuries actually happened. Like, Javarius Owens had a hamstring. Bobby McCain got a concussion. Oh, by the way, when Jihad Ward said, "I'm going to stay in," next to the referee, into the microphone, could you guys hear that in the stadium?
No, I didn't hear Jihad Ward say that. No. I'm very high up, so maybe 100 level people heard it.
Zion Gilbert had a hamstring. Bryce Ford Wheaton knee. Chris Mark had a hand. Wyatt Davis a knee, and then Jamon Green had I don't know how Jamon Green was
shoulder
out there for the last play of the game. McCain, I think Owens is pretty safe. But McCain, Bryce Ford Wheaton, and Myrick, those are all 3 roster bubble guys. And then there's other guys who didn't play. Tyree Phillips, DJ Davidson, both roster bubble guys. Cordell Flott's not. Nick McLeod, I made adjustment, he can't make the team if he's just going to be injured. Or maybe he's someone they slide through and put on IR. Cam Brown, if they want to add BFW or somebody else as a special teamer, that's not good for Cam Brown. Jack Anderson, maybe Tommy Sweeney with the heart issue, whatever happened at the practice facility the other day. Gary Brightwell, who's he could have put himself on the roster this year, and he hasn't played. Jack Anderson, Ryder Anderson's got a serious injury. Ryder will get cut and put on IR or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of roster. Now I'm glad it's not the starters, thank God. But a lot of roster bubble guys, that could be the decision made on them.
Yeah, it depends on the severity of these injuries, and especially the guys that are sitting down on the bench.
Beasley too. I forgot about Beasley.
The decision about Wan'Dale Robinson. What the hell is going on with Aaron Robinson? As we talk about this cornerback room, and it's scary. It's a little scary for the back end of the roster, and it's definitely gonna impact these decisions as we get down to the 53 for sure. Why don't we talk about one more thing, which I have to talk about it, and then I want to talk about.
I got a couple more things.
You have a couple more things, great. So, and I want to talk about the one thing I wanted to see tonight, but in a way, seeing how 2 corners and 2 safeties got hurt, maybe it's a good thing we didn't see these guys. I want to talk about Nutrafol. You don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health. Nutrafol provides a whole body health approach for men that promotes healthier hair. No drugs, no compromises, just better hair. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. I love coverage. We've been talking about coverage with the DBs because that's what defense is. Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting root causes of thinning such as stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism through the whole body health. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code TALKGIANTS. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men, spelled NUTRAFOL.com/men, and enter promo code TALKGIANTS. That's TALKGIANTS. That's Nutrafol.com/men, promo code TALKGIANTS. Bobby Skinner, you'll be glad you did. Can I say what I really wanted to see tonight?
You'll be glad you did, yes.
I wanted, selfishly, because I wanted to get a feel of what week one is going to be like, and this is my biggest worry about week one. Again, Deonte Banks and Trey Hawkins on the outside. Well, they've had a strong second half of camp. Trey Hawkins has been strong all camp. Deonte Banks has really started to show out the second part of camp, and I would say basically at this point, just besides that first week, Deonte Banks has been pretty sound. I wanted to see Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, Garrett Wilson, Randall Cobb, some of these other Jets wide receivers that they have out there. Even if they weren't playing some of their starters, they still have a lot of different skill position guys that they could throw the ball to. I really wanted to see some of those guys go up against the Jets Deonte Banks and Trey Hawkins go up against the Jets starters. But again, I'm glad the coaches made the decision not to play him because everybody in the defense got hurt. At one point, they only had 3 corners available, and they were saying they were having linebackers play safety. That's how bad it was.
When Javarius Owens got injured and Bobby McCain was injured, they were running like a base front, but with a nickel, 3 corners and 1 safety.
Yeah. And Dable said in the post-game pressers that, I commend the coaches because they were teaching linebackers to play like a safety role at the time, which was crazy. So.
Yeah, because I saw it because I was looking for Javarius because when the third teammate's out there on defense, so I was like, we're just gonna watch Javarius Owens because he had that QB hit. It ended up being that touchdown over Darren Evans at the end of the game, towards the end of the game. And I was like, oh, Javarius Owens QB hit. Cool. So I'm looking for him in the next series. I'm like, where is he? Is he playing deep? And then I realized, I was like, he's not out there. And Alex Cook is the sole safety, and they have 3 corners and then a base front. Like they got 4 linebackers and 3 down linemen. Graham Gano, Clem, someone could send this to Clem, was saying like, oh, I'm worried about Gano. 6 for 6 this preseason. Had a 56 and a 57-yarder, which I don't think he's ever had any bigger than those as a New York Giant. Did have a 63-yarder back in the day. People forget against the New York Giants with the Carolina Panthers. 5 for 5 and extra points. Still got it. Greatest Giants kicker of all time.
Whoa.
That's your preseason corner. Or not, special teams corner.
There you go.
And then the last thing, they had a little promo for week 1, and Andrew Thomas is really excited for it, going to be good. And Azeez Ojulari's like, it's going to be an electric atmosphere. And Darren Waller, who once played for the Oakland Raiders, is like, yeah, it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. I bet there's going to be some fights in the stands. Or he said fist fights in the stands. And I was like, fuck yes, Darren Waller, that's sick.
Producer let that in?
Yeah. I need to find, I'll play it because it's funny.
I didn't see it. I need to. Darren Waller probably said it with a smile on his face too, because that's just.
Okay, so what's cool is I got the other guys talking before him.
That's going to be legit. I've been dreaming about the opening day forever. I think it's going to be electric. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Opening night, division rival. It'll be a crazy environment. I'm sure there'll be some fist fighting in the stands. The energy's going to be electric.
Quick cut. Quick cut.
There's going to be some fist fights in the stands.
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm gonna send you a Culture of Violence shirt.
You know what's crazy?
Actually, I'm putting that on my to-do list. Send Darren Waller a Culture of Violence shirt.
There was almost a fight tonight where somebody in a Devin Hester jersey was yelling at a Giants fan, and there was almost a fight right near me. It was pretty uncomfortably close to me. The fight week 1 is going to be like a Giants fan and an Eagles fan. That's what it's going to be. Not a Giants and a Cowboy fan. It's going to be Giants and an Eagle. Somebody in an Eagles jersey.
Always the guy that's wearing a jersey of the team that's not playing.
Yep.
It's always there. I've seen a bunch of Eagles people in Eagles jerseys fight in games. Never at an Eagles game.
Yep. That's what it'll be. I'm ready, man. I'm so ready. I know we're gonna have 53-man cut. I know we're gonna have Tuesday at 4 p.m. and Tuesday all day is gonna be we're gonna be on our phones all day waiting for news and waiting for all that jazz. But Giants fans are ready for week 1. We're ready for Dallas. I'm ready for week 1 versus Dallas. I need it. I need that game. This is gonna be a really slow 2 weeks until that point, and I'm kind of dreading it. I'm really excited to get back to MetLife to see this team rock and roll. I need it.
I'm excited for today when people are listening. Here's my to-do list. I have clip up Eric Gray, get annoyed at Filato having the entire game out on all 22 on Twitter.
That's a to-do list item? Get annoyed?
That's because he just gets it before us, and it drives me nuts. It's like, I want to be posting this stuff. Google Doc preseason stats for the last 3 years. I'm going tackles. Like, it's going to take me about an hour to do that. Send Darren Waller a Culture of Violence shirt, and then family dinner.
Family dinner.
So enjoy your guys' Sunday, y'all. We appreciate you guys. We will see you. So schedule for this week. Last week of player profile episodes. So Tuesday will be Breida and Dex. Wednesday is Saquon and Nacho. Thursday's Daniel Jones, which will be fun to... I'm going to go re-listen to last year's where like, is this the last one ever of DJ? And then Friday, we do wait for the 53. Don't give it because so much stuff changes. There's guys who are fake cut and then brought back, guys put on IR, waiver claims. So we're going to wait till Friday to put out an episode just so we can get one really good episode out of that. So we do appreciate you guys. Thanks for staying kicking with us in the preseason. We'll see you then. Until then, let's go Big Blue.